What is happening, Webster Groves? This is the chemistry unit, Goals 7 video notes. And I apologize ahead of time. An extra cup of coffee this morning may have added to the caffeination of this note session. But we will proceed. The show must go on. So, the rubric. We are starting at a level 3. You are able to classify chemical reactions as either endothermic or exothermic. Endothermic and exothermic are I would say, the vocabulary words for this unit. The words you must absolutely know. Level 4, not only are you able to classify reactions, but you are also able to give an example of your own of an endothermic and an exothermic reaction. Here we go. So what do these words mean? Well, let me tell you. An endothermic reaction is a chemical change that absorbs heat. Heat is going into it. An exothermic reaction is a chemical change that gives off heat. So the change happens and heat is given off. Okay? Which picture demonstrates an endothermic chemical change? Ting, ting, ting. Correct. The fried egg, because heat is going into it in order to make the egg a solid. Okay? So in order for that chemical change to take place, heat is going into it. And by process of elimination, exothermic would be the exploding TNT dynamite. That would be the exothermic reaction. So heat is giving off. What is happening? Okay, settle down. So an exothermic reaction, heat is given off and the temperature of water rises. So if the reaction was placed into water, in an exothermic reaction, heat is given off. So the water surrounding that reaction is going to increase in temperature. And kind of the opposite, if the chemical reaction takes place in water, the endothermic reaction would take heat away from that water, absorb the heat energy, and in turn make the water around it colder. Okay? We're going to see examples of these. You're going to get to experience these in a couple labs that we see. All right. Here is an example of an endothermic reaction. Let me turn the music down because it's kind of odd. Okay, disclaimer. Alright, so we see the temperature. It was above 1 degree Celsius. This is just baking soda and citric acid. Mix these two up. Add some water. And there we go. We have a chemical change happening because the bubbles indicated that a gas was being made. So this is definitely a chemical change. Question is now, exothermic or endothermic? And we can see that temperature has dropped and is dropping, so it's getting colder. And because it's getting colder, because that heat energy is being absorbed, endothermic reaction. Okay. So there you go. A little bit of entropy for you. 17-year-old Kim. Awesome. Next, exothermic. A little bit of sodium, a little bit of water, magic happens. Realizing now that was kind of pixelated, but you get the idea. Energy is given off by the reaction. So chemical change happened, energy was given off because of it. So this was an exothermic. Okay? If you think of exothermic like exo, out of, heat is going out of. Endo, heat is going into. Alright, so being able to give examples of your own would be a level 4. Correctly classifying these would be a level 3. So let's just give some examples. Exothermic, mixing water with calcium chloride, heat energy is given off. So the reaction happens and heat is given off. You will see this in class. Another exothermic, rusting iron. You saw this. You saw this with the oxidation lab, how that flask fogged up. And because of that, you know, that was just evidence that heat was being given off. Okay. The burning of sugar, exothermic. Heat is being given off. And creating sodium chloride or salt. So sodium chloride, when you add these two things together, yeah, you get salt, but you also get energy. Guys, do not try the pickup line. Girl, you are so exothermic. Don't try that. Don't do it. It's not going to work. I didn't try, but a friend I know did. Maybe. Okay, endothermic. Endothermic, we already went over cooking of an egg. Heat is going into it. And so, because heat is going into it, the reaction happens. That egg becomes more like a salad. Which, by the way, is not a change in state of matter. Water evaporating. The water is absorbing the heat energy, and so it evaporates. So water evaporating is an endothermic reaction. Mixing water with ammonium nitrate. This is one we will see in class. Okay, you get an endothermic reaction. There is a cooling of the water surrounding the reaction. And photosynthesis. Say what? Say photosynthesis. Energy plus 6 molecules of water plus 6 molecules of carbon dioxide gives you a molecule of glucose and 6 molecules of oxygen. So energy plus water and carbon dioxide went into the reaction. That makes sense. Heat going into the reaction. And because of that, heat in water and carbon dioxide, glucose and oxygen are made. Dang, that is so endothermic. Don't try that either. It's not going to work. Will not work as the new trend for cool. Sorry. All right, well, that's it and that's all. Thanks for watching. Later.